After that, we had Charlotte, Bayley, and Sasha Banks in a triple threat match for the Raw Women's Championship. A really, really good match. As expected, all three women had great chemistry. A bit rushed at times. There was never really a dull moment. A lot of these matches, like with Reigns and Rusev, I could be busy doing something else on my laptop or doing something else around my room or whatever. This was a match I sat down to watch and paid full attention to the match because there were counter after counter, pinfall attempt after pinfall attempt. Great match. Not the best main roster women's match I've seen all year, but still a really good match. Charlotte, in the end, pinning Bayley to retain her title. So, right outcome, great match. That led to Charlotte and Sasha the next night on Raw encountering one another. I was hoping the feud would be blown off at a Clash of Champions, but I'm glad it's not. Because if they did that one and done, rematch clause at Clash of Champions and then moved forward, what a waste that would be of the perfect opportunity to have these women main event the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. And I'm not just saying that, for two reasons. One, they've never done, obviously, a Hell in a Cell women's match before. Sasha Banks was involved in the first ever Iron Man match, whatever the hell you want to call it, a year ago, almost exactly a year ago in NXT. So why can't she repeat history by creating another historic feat by competing in the first ever women's Hell in a Cell match? And it's not just any ordinary, it's not like, Mickie James and Alicia Fox this week inside the cell. No, that would be demeaning to the structure, to pretty much everyone involved. That would make no sense. But Charlotte and Banks have a lot of history together, dating back 3 years, let alone in the main roster in the last couple of months. It makes sense to blow off the feud at that, not only at the show, but inside the cell and in the main event. Owens and Rollins had a really good main event on this show, and I'll talk about it in a couple seconds, momentarily. But they could take a backseat for one show. I've always said the Raw women, they need to main event an episode of Raw first with a match, which I don't think that's going to happen before the pay-per-view. But they're not going to main event a WrestleMania anytime soon. They're probably not going to main event a SummerSlam or maybe Survivor Series, but not one of the big 4 pay-per-views or big 3, if we're not counting Survivor Series, because I don't really consider it all that important anymore, to be honest with you. That there is a realistic possibility the women could main event one of these B-level pay-per-views, and why not have it be Hell in a Cell inside the cell? And look at this, Banks' hometown in Boston. Not my idea. Solomonster pitched it on his show, on his review of the show a couple days ago. But I heard that and I fell in love with the idea. I love the idea of Banks going back after the belt in her hometown of Boston in the main event, finally conquering Charlotte to become a 2-time women's champion. You see me marking on the background because I'll be there. So I really, really hope that that's the case. I know they're having a match next week on Raw. No stipulation, just a straight-up singles match. I hope it ends in disqualification, count out. Then again, I said the same thing about their match on the first Raw of the new era, and that was a clean finish, and Banks won the belt on Raw. So we could see something similar this coming week, but I hope not, just because I would love to see it blown off inside the cell in Boston next month.